Today we are going to unbox and review the Bluboo S8. Now you might be wondering, since you've recently seen me unbox the Bluboo S1, what happened to S2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7? But I think, as we will find when we unbox this, we're going to find that this is a attempted clone of the Samsung Galaxy S8, but we'll see. We'll see how well it lives up to that. I don't have one for direct comparison, but we'll see if it lives up to that at all. So before we start, I should say that this review sample was provided free of charge by BangGood.com. However, my review will be as objective and honest as I can make it. There is a link in the video description to buy this product on BangGood if you're so inclined, and that's an affiliate link, which means if you click on that and buy it that way, I get a small commission. If you object to that idea, then please feel free to Google it up yourself and go there without using my link. So let's get started. So the packaging is quite nice and perhaps not quite as luxurious feeling as it was on the S1, which has got a kind of weird soft touch velvety feel, but still we've got this nice black box. I notice on the back here we've got a thing that this is an engineering sample, so not the final version. So take that into consideration when we look at everything about this phone. What I'm looking at here might be a little bit different from what you get in the final retail version. So it says actually the sample's colour, packing, interface and functions are for review only. The final product may vary. So anyway, let's open it up and have a look. Okay, now there's this kind of plastic sleeve that they have on the phone. Let's set that aside just for one moment and see what else we've got in the box. So we get a kind of inner box here. This style of presentation. I'll just check underneath those flaps. I don't think there's anything else in there. Oh, that's it. So nothing else in the box apart from what we've got here. This presentation is becoming quite familiar now. So inside this smaller inner box we've got a USB-C to jack plug adapter. That tells us something about what to expect on a phone. We've got a manual in several languages, a kind of stiff plastic screen protector, and we've got a soft silicone rubber case. Quite soft and flexible, rather thin. Looks more like, almost like a skin type case. Yeah, and that's instructions on. This is just a thank you for choosing this product. So that's interesting. We've also got a mains power adapter here. This is a European USB adapter. I won't be using that because it's not for my region, but the charger is the usual USB anyway. So that's a USB type C cable. Anyway, the phone itself. So let's pop that out of the little tray there. And it has a protective plastic sleeve that slides off. It's got a screen protector fitted, but it's weirdly doesn't cover the whole of the screen. So you might hate me for this, but I'm having that screen protector off of there the moment I start using this phone. The rear of the phone has got this shimmery 3D glass on the back here. Let's have a look at what we've got on the outside of the phone. So let's do a quick roundup of the features, the physical features of this phone while we still have daylight here. So let's have a look on the front. So we've got a screen that's got a little bit of a bezel at top and bottom and runs quite close to the edge at the sides. Now I'll be interested to see how this lives up to the pre-production photos, because a lot of the promotional photos showed the display going right up to the metal edge of the casing, and I can already see that that isn't the case. There is a small blue coloured bezel at the side there. Anyway, it will be interesting to see if the display goes right to the edge of the black screen. That's because if it doesn't, there's going to be even more bezel. Anyway, so I think we've got light and proximity sensor up the top there, earpiece, which is just a little recessed metal bit there, Front selfie camera. Nothing else to see on the front there. On the left hand side we've got volume rocker, and on the right hand side we've got the power and sleep button. I may have just switched it on there, we'll see. Top of the phone we have just the SIM tray and tiny little hole there, I wonder what that's for. And on the bottom of the phone, microphone hole, speaker, USB-C. On the back we have got a dual flash, dual camera and fingerprint sensor. So the fingerprint sensor's on the back there, but it's in a natural sort of place to be, and it's got a little ridge around it, so you're going to find it okay with your finger. And I think actually that may suit me better than a fingerprint sensor right down the bottom here. Just because of my silly stumpy thumbs, I find I can't actually get down there to unlock without maneuvering my phone. So I think actually a fingerprint sensor on the back may in fact suit me better. But it is a matter of personal preference. So that I think that's metal around the camera there. Slight camera bump, but very, very slight. And then the camera lenses, I've got to say that camera lens kind of feels like it could be plastic. We will see how that fares in everyday use. So, the screen itself. Now, the Samsung Galaxy S8 that this is trying to compete with has one of those edge displays where it wraps right off the edge and round the corner. This does not do that. This has got a kind of 2.5D glass on the front, but the display itself behind that glass is flat. So any curvature to the edge of the screen here is a bit of an illusion really, based on the shape of the glass. The surround here is metal. I can feel that that's cold metal. I don't know whether that's titanium or aluminium. It does actually look like it might be titanium. So that's the physical feel of the thing. It feels pretty solid. Nothing rattles, which is always a good sign. It feels good in the hand. It's got a nice heft to it and it feels solid, but the weight is nicely balanced and distributed within the body of the phone. And I do like this shimmery glass effect that you get on the back here. I'm rather fond of those sorts of effects. So, well, do you know what? I'm going to get this screen protector off of here. Hate me if you like, but I do not like screen protectors. So that's coming off, and now we get to see the phone as it really is. So let's just power it up and see what we get when we first power it on. So that gives us a little preview of what that speaker might be like, which I think could be a little bit on the weedy side, but we'll see. We'll give that a proper test. Okay, so I'm going to have to go through a setup here. Okay, so we're going to go through the setup and then we'll have a look at what it's like. But while we're here, let's just note that there's a bit of a bezel. Oh gosh, guys. There is not only the coloured bezel of the metal surround and the metal case, which obviously I expected to be there. There is a little bit of a black bezel on the inside of the screen area there. That definitely does not conform to the advertising images that were posted for this phone. I mean, it's just such a shame because it's a nice looking phone in its own right, but that does not conform to the visuals that were published before the phone was put on the market. So there we go, that's what the OS looks like. Seems pretty okay. It's going to take me a little while, I guess, to figure out where everything is here, because this is, I don't know what version of launcher or whatever this is. So I'm going to have a little play with this and then I'll come back and give you my view of it. But I think this is the Bluboo 360 OS that we've got on here, which is a kind of customized launcher and so on. But of course you can install your own launcher and everything else you might want. Camera looks a little bit different to the usual thing, and it's hard to say, but it's not the same camera app that we saw on the Bluboo S1. So the signs are hopeful that we might have a decent camera in this phone. So only time will tell, and obviously I'll give that a thorough test. But the signs, at least we've got something different to what we tested on the other two phones recently, which is at least a slightly hopeful sign. So the rest of the review is going to come in a moment. You'll see a change in the lighting conditions because this bit's been done in daylight. I think this cosmetic bit where we look at the phone and look at the appearance of the thing is actually quite important to do that in natural light. We'll do the rest of the review later on this evening. Okay, so first impressions of this phone. It comes with a thing called 360 Clone, which is part of this 360 OS that you get with the phone. It's supposed to transfer all of your settings and apps and everything from one phone to another. And so you can install it, it can push it to any other phone, and you can install it on your old phone. However, it doesn't transfer accounts, it only transfers apps, photos, messages, those sorts of things. So there's still going to be some manual setup for this, but it saved me a little bit of time. So it came with the usual little pin for opening the SIM tray. So let's just have a look and see what's in there. I think I'm right in saying yes. As usual for the new flagship killer type phones, you've got a dual SIM tray which is capable of either taking 2 SIM cards or 1 SIM plus 1 micro SD card. I'm a little bit concerned about this camera lens, which is flush with the top of the camera bump, which it just sticks out a bit there at the back. So I will be using the supplied slim case. It really doesn't add any bulk to the phone, but it's just hopefully enough to keep that lens off the surfaces that might scratch it. While we're here, let's just set up a fingerprint. That's nice and quick, and I'll just add my index finger from the other side. That's good. Okay, so let's just see how that unlocks with the fingerprint. Interesting. Oh, it did. Okay, not super speedy unlocking with the fingerprint, I would say, but this could be one of those things where it will adapt and get a little bit better the more I use it. It does seem to be the case, and I know these fingerprint readers do that. They will adapt and learn your fingerprint a bit better over time. So it's a bit too early to judge that, really. So I'm going to use this phone for a week now, as usual, and I will report back in 7 days about what I feel and think about this phone, having used it in real-world situations. So that's the unboxing and first impressions of the Bluboo S8. Thanks for watching. I hope to see you again soon.